everyone, I'm sorry I haven't done a review for a really long time. I should just give up apologising now because I always say in every video I'm going to do another video soon and I never do. So I'm just unreliable. I have had this perfume for a while that I'm reviewing. I've had it for, I don't know what's going on with my hair there. I've had it for a shorter time than my other LUSH fragrances, but I have had it for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months now, so I have tried it a few times, and it's another Gorilla perfume from the LUSH line, and this one is probably the most unusual one that I've reviewed so far, and it's called The Bug. So I'll just show you the little card that comes with it. So this is the design for the bug. As you can see, it's kind of purple with black and white, a black and white image on it, and it's a CCTV camera with an eye on it, an all-seeing eye. And then on the back it says, I'm going to try and pronounce this word, discombobulation nation, which basically means that kind of a feeling of being a kind of uneasy, suspicious, negative feeling. So I don't know if anybody has worked out from the picture what the idea behind this fragrance is, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's all to do with dystopian, kind of a dystopian society. So 1984 kind of a paranoid society, or you know where you have a reason to be paranoid because you're always being watched. I'm actually reading 1984 at the minute. My copy is from the library and it has a ridiculously long introduction, that's why it's so thick. The actual book is probably only like that much. So I'm actually reading that at the minute and it's really, really good. So I'll just talk a little bit about like 1984, so some people who don't know anything about it can have a little idea about what this perfume is about. Okay, so 1984 was published in 1949, so it's actually set in the future, and it's all about a society that is being watched at all times by cameras. Basically the government control everything, and the figurehead of the government is Big Brother. And Big Brother, no one knows who Big Brother is. He's just this all-watching figure that's shown on all the posters that are all over the city. And the people who work for Big Brother, including the main character, don't really know who they're working for, but they don't really question anything. And so in this new society, history is being rewritten all the time, so people don't know anything but what the government is telling them to believe. If you kind of think separately from what the government are teaching you, you can be like assassinated or locked up in prison and then assassinated and things like that. They have kind of big public executions where people who commit thought crime, so that means people who have free will in a way, get executed publicly, and that kind of scares other people into obedience. And so with that in mind, I think the image that accompanies this fragrance makes sense, because it has this camera with the all-seeing Big Brother eye watching. And the theme of this fragrance is very important because it actually, like to my mind anyway, it actually smells like what the idea is behind this. So I think all the LUSH perfumes so far have been really good in creating a mood or kind of summing up a certain place. And the bug is no different. I've had this on for only a few minutes now, so it's still in the top, but I'll warm it up a little bit more so you get the kind of general feeling. And there are some other kind of really famous dystopian kind of films that also run along these lines. So Terry Gilliam's Brazil, for example, or David Lynch's Eraserhead, and of course V for Vendetta as well, are all along these lines. Okay, so without giving away the notes, the fragrance to me opens up with a kind of cool smelling metallic electric aroma. So it's very strong, for one thing. I'd say it's very unisex, so I can imagine men or women wearing this, and the most kind of predominant like scent that comes from this is overheating circuit wires. It reminds me of kind of back in the old days before the computers were super compact. When I was younger, if you used to walk in like an IT suite in a school or in a library or something, and they used to have the big box screens and the big computers, there would be kind of an electronic plastic metallic smell in the air when you used to walk into an IT suite. You don't really get that anymore, but that's what it reminds me of. Or if you kind of open up a computer that's overheating or anything like that, and you've got all the circuit boards, it reminds me of that kind of slightly metallic smell. It doesn't really smell like burning electricals, but it's only kind of a hair, a hair away from it. A hair? It's only a hair away from it. I don't think that really makes sense. It's only kind of, that kind of breadth away from it. Okay, and there's also something kind of green and mossy about the fragrance as well. So I'd say mainly it's that heating up electronic circuit board, and then I just applied it again, and now it's really going for it. I'm just gonna rub it all over. There's also a kind of earthy mossiness to it underneath that really sharp metallic overheating circuit board smell. And that definitely kind of brings to mind this dystopian view that is shown in 1984. We have all these kind of big pumping machinery, kind of everywhere's got big pipes running through it. Actually, I think Eraserhead might be a better example of that kind of image, where all homes and all offices and everything have massive pipes running through it. Everything's electronic, but kind of a big bulky version of electronics, because obviously in the past, when people imagined the future, I suppose you can only really imagine it in terms of what already exists. So they probably didn't imagine that nowadays everything would be so compact and small. They kind of imagined that everything would be electronically and heavy and things like that. There is a kind of almost, I find like with a lot of the Lush fragrances, apart from maybe furs, a lot of them kind of do have a bonfire-y kind of artificial fire smell to them. And this one has that, but not so much as, say, Sipping Girls or Hellstone, but it does have that kind of, you can imagine a museum with the pumping smells of, where they pump the smell of artificial fire into the museum to kind of give a certain feel of old-fashioned interiors. It reminds me of that. I really don't make sense today. I am sorry. I know what I'm talking about, but it's not coming across. And there's something unsettling about this perfume, definitely, and that also ties in with the theme. I'd say of all the perfumes, this one is the most kind of almost the most vague, because I just can't work out, and I think a lot of people will find this as well. I can't work out if I like it or not, and I can't really work out if it's masculine or feminine, or there's just something very uneasy about the whole thing. There's kind of a slight sweetness to it, but it's definitely in the undertones. It's not very sweet at all, really. I'm getting something new now that I've never got before. Oh, that's weird. There is kind of something pleasant about it as well, but I'd say it's more kind of unpleasant than pleasant, but it's kind of interestingly unpleasant. I mean, I do wear this. I've worn this quite a few times now, but I don't tend to wear it in public, if that makes sense. It's kind of a fragrance I like to enjoy by myself. I'm sure some people will be bold enough to wear this out in public, but I'm just not that brave. If you rub it to kind of heat up the fragrance, it does lose that kind of metallic edge, and instead you do get a little bit of sweetness coming out. but there was something kind of artificially interior about it. You can imagine a room smelling like this in kind of that dystopian image that is put across. So in terms of notes, I've actually not really heard of many of these notes before. It's quite unusual. There's elemi, which I have no idea what that is. There's sandalwood. There is labdanum. I have no idea what that is either. There's black pepper, there's galbanum, and tonka. I know what tonka bean is. But of those notes, I wouldn't really know what kind of comes out. A lot of people on Fragrantica are saying that it reminds them of leather-bound books, libraries, herb gardens. Someone interestingly said that it smells like a squash lightning bug, which I would kind of, agree with that in a way. There's something really kind of electric about it. It's like a thunderstorm. I suppose that's where the kind of uneasy feeling comes from. Just before there's a big thunderstorm, the air feels quite tense and humid and electronic, and you just feel uneasy. Some people, me included, get really bad headaches when there's a thunderstorm coming, and the air just feels kind of electric, like it's just preparing for the downpour. And I think that's what this fragrance kind of evokes. It doesn't really smell like a thunderstorm itself, but more the moment before the thunderstorm, when the air is just really electric. But I'd say more so it's that kind of the old-fashioned computers overheating circuit wires. But it's still very interesting. Of the LUSH perfumes that I have, this one's probably my least favourite, but I'd still say that it's nicer than some of the ones in the collection that I haven't bought, such as the Voice of Reason, which I didn't really like. I think I liked all the others, but I just bought this one because it was so unusual. I don't really wear it as much as the other perfumes. I'm actually wearing Sicken Girls on the rest of my body today, and I really like Sicken Girls. But in terms of this one, I'd say it's definitely a kind of unusual perfume that it takes quite a lot of courage to wear out in public, but that shouldn't really put you off from trying this. So check that out. Definitely check it out if you've got a local LUSH store. It's one of the more interesting ones that's worth checking out. I don't really know if I have anything to add. So basically it's kind of a herby, mossy fragrance where the predominant notes are kind of somewhat the feeling of electric, overheating circuit boards and metallic pipes and things like that. So very unusual. I actually have Secretions Magnifique coming to me in the mail, so hopefully my next video will be quite soon, and it will be a reaction video to Secretions Magnifique, which I'm quite worried about, but I have to do it because everybody else on YouTube has done it, and so I have to be brave and just do the Secretions Magnifique review. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry this video has been all over the place, but well, just not, vague perfumes call for vague reviews, so thank you very much.